This cylinder has basically been straight kicking my you-know-what. Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today's video is about the most difficult job I've ever tackled. We're replacing the packings in the front end loader cylinders of this early 1970s Massey Ferguson backhoe. Not only was the job crazy and took 10 days to complete, the video editing has taken well over 30 hours and the video is still way too long, so my apologies in advance. If you're just here for my cinematic brilliance, please embrace and enjoy. However, if you're just here looking for specific information, please feel free to bounce around the video, as I believe Murphy made a point with me and this tractor. I'm pretty sure I ran into every possible problem imaginable with these cylinders. I'd appreciate it if you took a quick second to click a few buttons below, and here we go. Close your mouth. This is a summer teeth operation. Jeez, I really don't like this. That thing's gonna go flying. If it does pop loose, that ram is just gonna plop. Crap, crap, crap. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it ain't gonna be this. Just like that. This section right here is the part that was holding us up, and that's that internal groove. There's the other groove. Piece of cake. Let's start getting these out of here. And just stack them on top of each other. And I've noticed with a lot of these, I've rebuilt a couple over the past couple of years, the repack kits have upgraded versions of the original packings. It's like, that's all that came out for what that is going to take the place of. I had welded this chunk of C-channel on here, sorry, like that, to break it loose. And it was really, really tough. And I kept, you can see where I kept breaking chunks of the nut right off. This is probably cast steel. I mean, it's definitely cast. I just don't know if it's just cast, pot metal garbage, or if it was actually good cast steel, but it's obviously heavily impregnated, oil impregnated, so that makes it hard to weld to. But what I'm gonna do is clean up all of this garbage on here, all the broken stuff. I'm gonna weld a whole bunch of new metal onto it. It took me about an hour, hour and a half. I ended up using the TIG welder because I wanted to basically cook all the garbage out of this cast material. And I got all the edges built back up. I got the top built back up. Now I'm gonna chuck it up here in the lathe, flatten the front of it, and then clean up this inside ridge here. The edges here, I'm just gonna hit with probably a flap disc just to smooth them out. I don't really care if they're even. So I put the 4-jaw chuck on, tried to grab it from the outside. Even after fiddling with it for 10-15 minutes, I couldn't get it to center up just right. So I'm gonna try the 3-jaw chuck from the inside. Holy crap, that's why. I don't know if you guys can see this thing wobbling right here. Perfectly straight right there. Beautiful. I'm not an expert. This is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm just showing you how I do it. Basically, you can't use enough hydraulic fluid to keep everything lubed as it's going together. We'll do this one first. Get her all soaked up. Now, this is the same hydraulic fluid that I'm going to be using in the machine. Okay, then this bugger goes on top of that. There we go. Okay, so that's going to have to shrink back down a little bit. I'll throw these guys in here. And I'm going to put them opposite of each other, the brakes in it opposite of each other. I did go through and thoroughly clean everything. This piece I'm almost a little bit worried about. I did turn the inside here down just a smidge. I mean, it didn't really even get all of it, but my new seal is a little bit loose. So when I go to put this in, I have this bearing sealant. It's meant to hold bearings in place. Now this one has a Teflon ring, then the O-ring, then another Teflon ring. So that's what the inside looks like. So this ring goes with the fat side pointing towards the pressure. All right, so if this is on here, this is gonna be bolted down here. This is the end cap. So fluid fills up around here and pushes on that. Not this guy, this guy. And these are kind of a bugger to get in place. Kind of gotta twist it down, almost fold it in on itself. There we go. There it is. Whew. That was a pain. Make sure it is fully seated. That white seal is our actual pressure seal. Trying to be careful not to rough this O-ring up on this rough surface here. And this other O-ring in here is supposed to be flat. This will probably be easier in a vise. So we got the main O-ring, then that flat O-ring, and this does actually hold pressure. While I'm working on this, just a quick tip here. This ram, I didn't feel anything funky on it, so I'm not worried about it, but I did hit it with a very, very fine and light Scotch-Brite and like a double-aught steel wool, just to clean up some of the crud that was on there. And I don't feel any scratches, so I think the ram is gonna be just fine. This is more of just a precaution. This thing shouldn't come out, and it's not a huge issue if it does. There's virtually zero pressure, hydraulic pressure on this seal. It's just a dust seal to keep that part clean. Okay, looks seated. So getting it past the pressure seal is the difficult part. I don't really want to smack this thing with a hammer, but I will if I have to. Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good seal there. I don't recommend tapping it with a hammer if you can help it, because you don't want to roll your seals, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I've also seen a method, I've done this before with forks on a motorcycle. You take a plastic bag, put the plastic bag over, run this down, but this one wouldn't work because the bag would get stuck in here. But one like this, once it's over, you can slide this back and pull the bag back off. Yee. Something just felt funny there. Oh, there it goes. I'm gonna spin it back a little bit, and when I pull it, I should hear metal on metal. If I don't, then I know that my seal rolled. Yep, that was metal on metal. Okay, so that's good. Ugh, that is tight. Tell you what, that impact gun is the shit. Okay, that's good. Now when you got a long cylinder like this, you got to get it cleaned out. So I tipped it upside down, sprayed brake clean up in there and let it flow out. And I've got this long blowgun, and I shot air into the tube here, in through the lines, and everything drained out. I cleaned up the end, tapered a little bit here, took the sharp edge off. That way it should go around these guys, no problem. And I'm gonna put, once this is slid over this, I'm gonna put some grease on here and on the inside of here. And for the inside of this, to clean up the little bit of rust that was in there, I used one of these paint remover thingies so that it didn't really damage. I tried the wire wheel, but the wire wheel wasn't strong enough to actually peel the rust scale back and smooth it all out. So now it's smooth from the clean surface inside the cylinder all the way out to the edge. Get a bunch of oil in here. Maybe call your kid out to stick their hand down in there, but because as you push this down, it's gonna push that oil film down with it. Okay, everything's clean, ready to go. Let the struggle begin. This one here is the one I'm worried about because it's not only got to go over, get in through the outside, which has got a taper. That shouldn't be too hard, but then it's got to go through that groove there. Very gentle. Yeah, it's already pushing that damn thing. So it's pushing that frickin' white Teflon ring up and out. And if that one's doing it, it's probably gonna do it on the next ring in. And that's our main seal. It keeps splaying out here, probably because I stretched it out to get it on there. I mean, look how much that thing sticks up there. Okay, it started. Maybe a little twist. I think it's almost passed. Hey, holy shit, it's in. Yeah, that's in. Whew. What a bugger. At least try to get a little bit of grease in that groove. And I do not worry about getting a little bit of grease in with the oil. Bada bing, bada boom. So our hole's lined up. See that wire going in there? There it is, it's in. It's wrapped all the way around too. So now to get it out of there, like on the tractor, you go the opposite direction. Uh-oh. Oh no. The little L broke off. It's just spinning now. This thing is never coming apart again. I cannot believe that just happened. Man, what are the odds that this happened? Hey, it's moving. There's the end of it too. It didn't break, it just, I'll have to show you, but it did not break. It just popped out of its hole. That might be enough. It is. Oh my Lord, get out of there. Holy hell. What on earth? So I was able to chisel it back into the hole. That was scary. I wonder if I can bend it, put a new bend in there, cut this chunk off, because that's obviously weak now. Yep. Dang, I can't believe I got that out of there. So there is just not much information out there on these old cylinders, at least not on YouTube. I checked a couple forums and I was able to find one fella that said you can use a piece of welding rod to replace these with. So this 1/8 inch 6011 isn't even a full 1/8 inch. And this wire is over an 1/8 inch. I wonder if a chunk of the 6013 is any thicker. That's almost exactly 1/8 inch, 0.125. Dang it. I need to do some more investigating. Well, I just took the original one and I put it in the vise, bent it over, and then cleaned up the tip here. It was a little bit longer. Overall, the whole thing might be a 1/2 inch shorter than it was. Maybe. And I think that's gonna be okay. Let's give it a shot. It's got me all sorts of scared right now. That worked. I mean, it is 1/4 inch shorter than before. So you can just barely see the edge of the wire up in there. And right there's the end of it, the curled in part. All right, so I have given this quite a bit of thought over the last couple of days, and I really do not want to struggle with another one of these gland end caps. So I got kind of lucky here. The 2 outside cylinders are actually the same diameter, but the inside, the ram, this one's like 1.5 inches, and that one's like 2.5 inches or 2 inches, something like that. I only have to make one size spanner wrench. What I think I've come up with is to fabricate my own socket. The flats on here are about 3/8. So I got some 3/8 plate steel, and I've got about 3/4 of an inch of space before I get to the hole where the retaining wire or retaining clip gets fed in. And the straight hex nut design or hex design that I made won't fit over the mounting pin hole. So I trashed that idea and I come up with another one, except I've got notches in the corners, kind of like a impact socket. And I still had to wallow those out just a smidge, but now, there we go. It'll just slide right over and then fit right on. And then I'm gonna take a chunk of pipe, weld that to the back side of my socket here that's gonna be made out of 3/8 plate so that it has a little bit of stability wrapping around here. I need some serious torque on this thing. And then what the professionals use, they have this skid. I mean, this huge box frame skid with a hydraulic turner and a pin on one side and a stable pin on the other. So they lock it up in this thing, and then they've got this hydraulic ram that just turns the end piece, and that's how they do that, you know. And they've got special sockets that fit right on there, or punch outs in plate steel that they slide the gland end in, and then they just crank on it. And obviously I don't have that. Part 1 complete. All right, we are definitely closing in on this bugger. It fits on here this way, but it doesn't want to fit on many of the other ways just yet. And that's because these flats are not consistent. They're not the same size or shape. Very, very cool. Well, I was curious to see how strong this evolution is. These are manure bucket tines. This is 1.25 inches. I like it. I like it a lot. Heck yeah. Fits all of them. Yeah. I just hope it fits the other ones. If it doesn't, I will grind this thing out or weld into it to make it fit. I will try not to be shaky here. Look at that. And the back side with the ring. Well, another day, a whole bunch of black boogers later, we got ourselves a wrench, a cylinder wrench. So just like before, 1.25 inch solid steel handle, probably about 1 foot long. I got 3/8 gussets in here and everything's welded up pretty darn stout. Before I mount this thing back up on the tractor to try to work on it there, I figured why not just give it a shot here? Last time I tried it, I did it that direction, and that was working it that way, so the vise was kind of tipping away. So this time, I'm gonna try it with the pipe stand over here, go this way. That way it's going against the solid cross members of the bench. So we're gonna give it a shot right quick and see if we can't get this thing to start moving. Look at that. Oh, that's so nice. So it does seem to be camming out somewhere. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just go ahead and heat it. I'm gonna try a few more schwacks at it anyway. What do you think, bigger hammer? Nothing seems to be giving way. Garbage. Piece of junk. I was getting this plate steel in my hex was rounding out. Not rounding out, but getting smashed, because this is just mild steel. So I took a burr, a carbide burr, and ground out little holes in here on the receiving end of the damage. And I'm gonna do a little bit of tool steel inlay. I'm gonna take these drill bits, high-speed steel, TIG weld them into those grooves, and then grind them back flat again. Moving. There it goes. I just gotta make sure I find the right end. This is the part, you gotta catch that wire right there as it's coming down. Small screwdriver, anything to catch it. Just like that. Yep, there she goes. There it is. Holy crap. Now I know there's absolutely no way I'm gonna be able to pull that by hand, so now it's just hooking it up to the tractor, popping it loose like I did last time. All right, so got the right side loader mount, or a loader cylinder out. The fluid actually travels through the ram, which is really crazy to me, but really cool. There it goes. Okay. I don't know, but that looks like I cracked that whole nut. Thinking I should just get the pipe wrench on it. At least the pipe wrench should work now that it's broken loose initially. Looks like I'll be fixing another one of these damn caps. Get pretty damn sick of this. It's kind of ungodly. It takes this much. And this is a relatively small cylinder. So close. Ta-da! All that dumb wire. And that is what I was talking about. That's what that wrench did to this. That's weird. I don't know if maybe it was damaged before or just I had a weird grip on it or something. Shit. Those other cylinders had the hard line on the outside of the cylinder. It didn't roll. Whoops a daisy. Probably gonna need a towel out there anyway. Over off our left side we have Reba 88 Centurion. Man, I like that truck. October 1st, the garden's still green. Crazy. Still got cherry tomatoes down there. Now, hopefully, there's enough juice left on this pinhole. I mean, that is wobbled out really thin. Nothing I can do, though. Whoa! You have got to be kidding me. Last thing I want is this monster cylinder to come flying at the tractor. That should at least stop it from hitting the tractor. Holy hell, did not expect that. Dug up part of my frickin' lawn. Damn, what was holding it? Uh-huh. Look at how cruddy that is. Jeez, and there's that damage. Okay. O-ring boss style fitting. I do have caps and plugs, but I want to be able to wire wheel that whole area. Tell you guys what, if you ever do any real metal work, these abrasive discs, they're paint strippers basically, but man, they work great for rust and debris and paint, obviously. That cleaned up real nice. I'm just gonna leave that in there. I'll get a smaller wire brush to clean out in there. Holy shnikes, that was it. Oh yeah, holy hell. I don't know if you all remember, I said this was the worst leaking one. Right there would be why. Holy cow. That thing is trashed. Big old hole in that seal. And the rest of it's shot too. And this is how it works. It's got these two holes down here, ports. So the fluid goes in here, comes out there, and that's what pushes the ram in. And then the fluid that would be on the backside would push it out. So that's pretty cool. Never seen one like that. I smashed the end of that in pretty good, and look what it did to the outside seal. Now again, that's just a dust seal, but it's not one of those things that I'm gonna put back together, which means I'm gonna have to fix this somehow or another. All right, just a real quick update here. It's the next day again. And man, there is a lot of impurities in this steel, this cast. And I'm TIGging it so I can try to boil out a bunch of the garbage and get a really good solid weld. And it's been tough. But I got most of it built back up. The outside I think is probably good enough anyway. Yeah, see these holes here? They just keep popping up, but not too awfully worried about it. This is gonna be stronger than this anyway, I think. Finished up the gland end today, and it's certainly not beautiful. You can see all the porosity in the welds, but it is the right size. The seal should fit fine, and I'll put some more of that goop in there to seal it up good. The inside is fine. I had to rebuild this entire section right here. It was all broke out. That's why it's all porous in there. Grind it back down, smooth it all back out. I think it'll work though. Got to get the inside ring in. So this goes on the inside like that. Again, the lip goes towards the pressure. That is really small. So scared to break one of these. Probably wouldn't hurt to heat them up a little bit either. And I'm not a pro, so if anybody out there knows a secret to prepping the seals, sure was easier than that first time, wasn't it? It feels like it's seated all the way. Don't break, don't break, don't break, don't break. Oh, man. Phew. Okay. Oh, we were on. Yeah, well, it's on, but I'm not particularly happy with it because of how far it's sticking out now. It's going to make it really hard to get that cylinder on. Now, let's see what a pain in the ass this is going to be to get it on the ram. This one should actually be quite a bit easier. It's got a pretty nice slope on here. Okay, she's on. Tight, but she's on. That should at least get us somewhat safe. Oh yeah, there she goes. Now this is what I wanted to show everybody. So the seal has to go through the first ramp right here, chamfer on the outside. Then it has to go through the chamfer on the inside of the, the groove where the wire goes. So while I'm inserting the ram, I can wiggle it and see if that seal looks like it's in place. That is our seal right there, our Teflon, I think, seal. Got the steel on both sides, and then that's our Teflon seal. And it looks like it's perfectly in the groove, the way it's supposed to be. So now as I wiggle it in, I'll be able to keep an eye on that. Make sure it looks about right. Now the ramp, so the cutout or the chamfer, the channel for that wire, it's pretty steep on the outside, but it's very shallow, gradual going in. So that helps that seal slip through there. I know you guys aren't going to be able to see that without a light on it, but I can't hold the light, hold the ram, and push it all at the same time. I'm gonna use this ratchet strap. I'm putting quite a bit of pressure on this ram to, like my whole body weight. One with a jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Get some ratchet strap pressure. Now the ram is installed, and it's pretty helpful to have a pin to help spin this thing. Since I got that ratchet strap in there, I can't use that, but it's just something to help give it a little back and forth. I'm kind of betting. There it goes. There it is. Man, that thing is snug. I'm gonna give this some extra lube here. And actually, before that goes in, I'm gonna get a little bit of grease on this guy. getting this seal on is a Royal PETA, or getting it to start. You kind of got to do the same thing. Little wiggle, little turn, little bang. Maybe not. Holy shit. Huh. Wow. All right, so check this out. Now we take our BFW, find our hole. Yeah, it's plugged with grease. Okay. I'm gonna coat this with some grease too. There it is. 3 days for this one. Very, very cool. You know what else is cool? Hitting the like and subscribe buttons. All right, folks. Well, I'm sure everybody's about sick of this video. I know I am. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one out of here, get the next one back in place, or next one off the tractor and in here. I'd really like to get this thing wrapped up tonight, but I don't see that happening. Probably not a chance in hell of that happening. Got the last cylinder on here. I was super excited. I got this thing to break loose pretty quick, but now the dang wire isn't moving. So that 90 that catches in the hole must have popped loose. I'm gonna try to spin this the other direction and hope that that 90 will catch in its hole and go back into it. I'm gonna mark both the wire and the cap, so I know I get a whole 360 degrees rotation. My wrench did work initially, and then I was at a funky angle where I couldn't get good leverage on it. It doesn't like to fit on all 6 sides. So I went back to the pipe wrench, but it was spinning pretty easy. I actually talked to a guy this morning. I had a hydraulic shop about 45 minutes from here, and he says he has some 1/8" piano wire that he replaces these with. And that's what I'll do, because I'm gonna have to chisel this thing. My plan is actually to get the Dremel and a small burr and grind a section of that thing out, spin the cap till I find the hole, put something down in that hole to catch it, maybe like a chunk of a drill bit or something very hard. Maybe not even a drill, maybe like a chunk of a small Allen wrench. So again, something hard that when I do start to spin it again, it'll catch the end of the wire and hopefully push it out. I can't believe how easy this thing is spinning. Oh, I thought maybe I caught the wire there for a second. Well, that's 360 degrees. That's 360 times 2. Definitely did not catch the wire. Gonna try to chisel it just a little bit. Honestly, I think I'm just trashing it. Yep. Getting a Dremel and a small burr. I don't think that one's quite strong enough. I'm gonna see if I got some sort of tungsten, some sort of carbide burr. I was able to find this little dude. I don't know if that's quite gonna work or not, but all we can do is try. This other one was making progress, but man, it was going slow. Hate to do it, but I need my readers. Now we should be able to see the base of that hole move. Yep. Okay, we're through. So I'm gonna keep turning this little by little until I can see the hole. Now, if I had to guess, it looks like it broke off in there. It's that piece. Oh, oh, oh. There it is. Now I wonder if I can punch this a little bit each way to get it to start moving. I think it's moving, but I'm gonna heat it up. I just realized the dot that I put on there is exactly where the hole is. That is insane. If I can get that ring to start moving, then I'll go ahead and stick something in that hole, rotate the gland, Let's see if I can't rotate that ring out of there. I can't imagine this thing not coming loose now. Oh yeah, she's moving. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stuff this little chunk of drill bit in there. I can't imagine that breaking. I mean, it's a really short piece. And hope that that jams that thing up. And I can rotate that thing out of there. Hey, it started moving. The ring's moving, or the wire. All right. It started to mushroom it out. Right up in there. It started pushing this up and it's kind of mushrooming it out just a smidge. So I'm gonna grind this flush again and then try to get it to start going, because it definitely moved. This was all the way back here. Ah. My burr broke. Okay, the wire's starting to move. I don't know if my little tab is shallow enough. The last thing I want to do is get that thing stuck halfway through there. Ooh, wow. That's a drill bit. Look how deformed that is already. Dang. Made a new one. It's a little bit shorter, rounded head, so hopefully it will not get caught up on the inside of the ridge. Well, something just went. Looks like my little chunk broke off in there. Yep, my chunk of drill bit got stuck in there. Fan-damn-tastic. It's the one thing I was afraid of, getting a chunk of high-speed steel caught in that damn hole. This is nuts. There it goes. Yep, broke it again. I took a small chunk of the wire, put a little 90 in it, I hooked it in there like that and started to spin it into it. It didn't go anywhere. I was reefing on it, it didn't go anywhere. When I spun it backwards towards me, now all of a sudden, the wire is right next to the hole, which it was not before. So I'm gonna try to spin it out now. Oops, see what happens. And it doesn't look like the other one started to move. The other half is still stuck over here. But if I can get this half out, then I could take something like this again, hopefully run it out. This is tough because the end of the wire, when it's made, has a little bit of a slant to it so that it wants to catch that ridge to come out. This one, the wire is round and it's arced as well, preformed. I don't know if it's preformed, but see how it's kind of arced just from being in the spool or being wrapped in that thing. Now, this isn't the same one, but that's similar to what it would look like after it was spun in there. But like I said, the edge of the original one has a little taper to it this way, so that when it comes around and catches that hole. So maybe I could tap it the other direction. That's moving, I think. I really hate to push that side back in, but I'm gonna, just to see. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I don't know why it come loose, but it did. But like I said, I'm almost thinking my little insert idea might work now. Things are loosening up a little bit. Just very lightly to see if things will move. It's going. Yeah. Why does it feel stuck again? I'm gonna throw some heat on it again. Can't chance this. Let's throw a little more schmoo in there. All right, girl, come on. What is going on? Yeah, I think it's just my little spud thing is a little too big. I just made a new one of the little stoppers, keepers, spuds, whatever you want to call it. Seems like it fits through the groove pretty good. I don't know if I broke it or if it started to move. Nope, I think I broke it off. It sheared off. I think while I can see it, I'll go ahead and grind it down clean again. So get rid of the mushroom end on it. Oh, it moved. The other end is sticking out this side. Now I think I can grind it clean, and I think this is what is holding us up. It is mushroomed out a little bit. This is what we're looking like in here. Just ground the bottom edge of that wire flat and smooth. Put my new stopper in the hole, which is way up there. And hopefully that'll do it. Oh, it's spinning. Oh no. I'm gonna have to grind that. It started lifting that because it's next to the hole there. What a pain in the ass this has been. Yeah, I suppose when you think about it, I've probably cut damn near an inch of this wire out of here. For another week, cutting an inch a day. Might be out of there altogether. Well, damn, I was able to get it come back around, and then that pin caught the wire and pushed it up a little bit. Holy shit. I'll just keep working it back and forth. Damn, I shouldn't have stopped. So our stopper, or spud, is sitting right there. I'm wondering, I grab onto a good chunk of this. Yeah, I knew that side was short. There it is. Holy shit. I went past it, but we can turn that around. Actually, if it's stuck, hopefully the same thing will happen. Where my little spud down there will grab the wire, push it up just like that. Perfect. Now, when I bring it back around, it's already bent up enough. Yep. Wow. Holy crap. Well, here is what I finally got out. I think that's a chunk of the wire. This is a chunk of the drill bit. And I think it should be about yay long. That's what the end is supposed to look like. When I was saying it's supposed to be tapered like that. See how it's got that taper on it? That's from the factory. Guess what? Next day, again. I got it all put back together last night. When I was yanking this thing apart, so you saw I got the wire out of there. Everything else went good after that, except for when I was pulling it apart. I actually meant to spray something through this and double check it, make sure that the old wire was completely out. And in my haste and excitement, I just took it out there, hooked it up to the tree, and yanked the damn thing apart. And go figure, one of my little stubs that I put in there to catch the wire and drive it out, the stub that was in there was still in there when I yanked it apart. So I left a groove in the cylinder wall, but it's this side of the sealed section. So I'm not worried about it. I cleaned it up, everything, flattened it, sanded it, smoothed it. It's all back together now. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt to get this one into the cylinder. And I took a ring compressor and I wrapped it on that thing and even tapped this to get that seal, that Teflon seal, to really cinch down. It didn't seem to do anything, nothing. This one, after using the ring compressor, was even worse than the first one I did without the ring compressor. So I got that idea off another YouTube video, and I think it's a good idea, and maybe it would have helped in another circumstance. It just didn't help on this one. So now, we're going to get our wire retainer installed, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. So first I'm going to get rid of this 90 that I already put into it because it got bent once already, and I don't feel like having that thing snap off on me or get stuck in there again. Not that I'll be touching this ever again, I don't think. I will hit this on the grinder right quick just to clean that up. And I'm just eyeballing this. It doesn't have to be perfect. I do want to keep it with the natural curve of the wire though. Maybe a little bit more. I can always cut it down if it's too long. Yeah, that's probably just a smidge too long. Like I said, I can throw that on the grinder. That looks about right. I'd say about a 1/4 inch. Again, I'm just ballparking it. So I thought about this a little bit on what's going to be the best way to get this just right. Rather than trying to measure it, I'm just going to go ahead and stuff it in, rotate it all the way around, and then cut it off while it's on here. Get her caught in a little hole. Rotate it all the way around until I get to the other end. And I already put grease in the groove when I was putting it together. Is that it? I can't see. Okay, so that's the end. So I'm just gonna back it back out, cut it right there. Now I'm gonna cut this at an angle like that. That way when it comes back to take it apart again, it's already got that angle on it. Wrong damn way, son of a gun. Mucho better. You can see how I got a little bit of a slope cut into that. That way, when it comes to come back out of the hole, it's got its little ramp right there. And we just run her in. Perfect. And that kind of poked out a little bit there. It looks like it'll still go. Okay, it's in. No, it's not. Oh, you son of a gun. It bent the 90 on my wire. What the frick? So there's where the hole's supposed to be. I think that 90 undid itself over here. I mean, it's in, don't get me wrong, but... So last time I was able to just take the chisel, put a little mark on it. Ooh, this stuff is harder than the other one. Oh no, that 90's right there. I think I'm gonna leave it right there, because the next time it's gonna need to be spun, rotate it, it's already right there, it's stuck in that side. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Very cool. On to installation. Just pack that thing full. It really wouldn't hurt to get this seam here either, even though nothing should be able to make it in there. It's not gonna hurt for sure. If I mention these things are heavy, I've been using this monster brass drift to turn the cylinder, or turn the ram. It's probably gonna have to come back in. Wow. I think we're at day 10 or 11. Something like that. Hopefully there won't be a next day. Well, I think it's time to go ahead and fire this thing up, let her start warming up. Oh, you know what? He asked me to take a look at that muffler up here. See why it's all wobbly. Holy crap. That's gonna be fun. Huh. Alrighty. I don't know if that can even get any tighter. Heck yeah. Perfect. Hopefully nothing comes flying out. All right, so far so good. I don't see any leaks. I'm gonna go ahead and get the backhoe lifted up, bring it forward a little bit, and run the loader through, bucket through nice and slow, just to get fluid in both sides of the cylinders, get everything bled out. Say that went pretty well. I think the reservoir might be getting a little dry after filling 4 cylinders. This one's been modified at some point. Typically these old tractors, a lot of tractors use this subframe assembly here as the reservoir. This tractor was modified at some point to not only add this, but the bucket pinch system was plumbed in as well, and they even cut this frame over here out of the cab wide open. Oh yeah, that's what I was hearing. It started sounding a little bit funky in there. Level was here, now it's like down to here. All right, well, enough next days. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Please hit some buttons down below. If you got any comments, suggestions for the channel or for myself, I'd love to hear them. I do stuff like this to save money and to learn. I highly recommend anybody doing the same thing. You know, just jump into it, figure it out. Obviously do a little bit of research, reading. I just saved my neighbor thousands and thousands of dollars. Probably even just to come collect the unit would have cost that much, because they're not going to take everything apart there on the property. They're going to want to come get the unit, trailer it to wherever they're going to work on it there. It'll be gone for several weeks. They'll be waiting on parts just like me. They wouldn't have taken the time to fix or rebuild, you know, those gland ends like I did. And, you know, for me, we spent almost 500 bucks on a seal pack. That's it. That's the only money I actually spent on it. You'd be looking at that, plus time and labor, plus all the extra parts that probably broke. They probably wouldn't have put this one back on with that wallered out pinhole. I'm not saying I should have, I'm just saying you're looking at thousands and thousands of dollars. So take it for what it's worth. I like doing this kind of stuff. Helps my neighbor out, helps me out in return, because now I get to use the tractor. So again, thanks everybody, appreciate your time, and have a great week.